Era when ancient wisdom was buried under years of ritualistic practices, when games became wars and wars were played like games. A young boy was found in deep meditation in a quaint village in South India known as Ravi Shankar. He would say, "I have family everywhere. People are waiting for me." He astonished his teachers by reciting the Bhagavad Gita at a tender age of 4. With his education in Vedic literature and physics and his deep and profound knowledge of the spiritual world, he became one of the most prominent sages of the modern world. All through his life, he has been reviving ancient knowledge and creating tools and techniques that have benefited millions across the globe in living a deeper and a more joyous life. In 1981, the Art of Living was established by Gurudev Sri Ravi Shankar. Nurtured by his care and contribution, the Art of Living has rapidly grown across 156 countries, reaching over 450 million people. One of Gurudev's most unique offerings to the world is the Sudarshan Kriya, a powerful breathing technique that facilitates physical, mental, emotional, and social well-being. He has designed 57 exclusive courses that empower individuals and cater to the needs of a wide spectrum of institutions in the society. Back then, Gurudev started the Art of Living service projects by taking responsibility of reviving a sinking school which had no funds. Today, his intention has manifested in over 702 free schools, which provides education and food to more than 80,000 children in rural and tribal parts of India. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the Art of Living Foundation pioneered the I Stand With Humanity initiative, providing more than 80 million meals to the daily wage earners in over 170 cities across India. The service initiative during the pandemic included the distribution of 6,000 tons of food to 5 million families. It helped set up 7 COVID care hospitals and provided with over 200,000 PPE kits. Trauma relief programs were also conducted for more than 1 million migrant laborers and COVID warriors to bring mental relief. To combat the fear, stress, and anxiety during such times, Gurudev launched the World Meditates campaign and also personally conducted online guided meditations twice daily, touching the lives of millions by bringing solace and keeping the hope alive. The Russian-Ukraine war created a surge of unrest around the world. In such regions of war, the Art of Living and IIHB shouldered the responsibility of housing the refugees and giving them hope.
A lot of noise and bombs, and we were very scary. In here, Art of Living helped me to find some place to sleep.
My son is very happy now here.
People here are very kind. They love us. It's our new home. It's really here.
Within 1 hour, 300 students they ate and 300 students they got the beddings to sleep.
The Art of Living, they are providing such a good food and accommodation. I really thank from my core of heart.
They are treating us like their own child.
The magnitude of work included relief support in 9 countries, 32,617 meals being provided, 5,875 people were housed, 9,023 helpline calls were answered, 11,200 medical kits and 60,000 euros worth of medicines were distributed. 22,342 mental counseling sessions were conducted. 2,183 volunteers were on ground working tirelessly. From childhood, Gurudev had immense faith in the principle of non-violence. With escalating violence and conflict in the world, Gurudev has brought peace in situations where war seemed like the only solution. Thousands of militants and Naxalites laid down their weapons and chose meditation in the northeast and other parts of India.
এই সংগ্ৰামখনত আমি সফল হ'ব নোৱাৰিলোঁ। লাষ্টত গম পালোঁ যে হস্ত সংগ্ৰামৰ জৰিয়তে আমি
His efforts include bringing an end to a 52-year-old fierce conflict between the FARC and the Colombian government.
Ojalá podamos los colombianos abrazar pronto el principio gandiano de la no violencia. Coincidimos con el maestro Shankar.
Gurudev has visited Iraq several times and addressed peace conferences to bring respite to the nation and its citizens. He has hosted a series of trust-enhancing interventions in Jammu and Kashmir, providing all the stakeholders to voice their opinions in an effort to restore peace in the valley.
I was named Muhammad, but after becoming a militant, I was called Khalid. We had been taught to operate guns, arms and train other youths. But now, after doing the Art of Living course and meeting Sri Sri, we realized we had chosen the wrong path. We now want to spread love and non-violence in Kashmir.
Gurudev's programs have impacted people involved in armed conflicts. Rehabilitate the prisoners. It has reached out to over 800,000 prisoners globally and has brought immense transformation in their lives.
I actually look forward to fights. But now since doing this course, I'm a total different person. I can now walk away from a fight.
The Art of Living's Welcome Home Troops project has transformed lives and brought veterans out of aggression and depression. 94% of these veterans who were suffering from the unseen wounds of war reported peace of mind and reduced stress and anxiety levels. The Art of Living has also been working towards the betterment of the environment. 49 rivers and thousands of water bodies in India have been revived. Conducted more than 100,000 cleanliness drives. Planted over 81 million trees in 36 countries. More than 2.2 million farmers have been trained to adopt natural farming till date. Gurudev found the Sri Sri Rural Development Program Trust to empower rural India. Volunteers have developed thousands of model villages across India, providing solar energy to over 90,000 individuals under Light a Home project. Gurudev's vast global network of volunteers is well known for mobilizing trauma and disaster relief for the affected populations around the world. In a world torn apart by religious, social, national and cultural divides, Gurudev's vision is to see the whole world as one family. The World Culture Festival. The festival brought together over 3.75 million people from 155 countries with spectacular performances on a breathtaking 7-acre stage equivalent to 6 football fields by 36,602 dancers and musicians from around the globe, celebrating the diversity of all faiths and cultures. The Art of Living has hosted historic events leading to multiple Guinness World Records.
If you can have a mind of a scientist and a spiritual force of His Holiness Sri Sri Ravi Shankar Ji gives, then we have a beautiful world and happy world and prosperous world.
And organizing a meeting no politician on earth could ever dream of.
The Art of Living Foundation. For 25 years it worked on programs promoting peace, combating violence and drug addiction, empowering our youth. It has an incredible following that cuts through all religions, cultures, and backgrounds. A very, very difficult thing to do in today's world.
Gurudev has been conferred with numerous awards around the globe, including the highest civilian award of Colombia, Mongolia, and Paraguay, the Padma Vibhushan, one of India's highest civilian award, and 23 honorary doctorates globally. His vision for the world is to see a smile on every face and create a stress-free and violence-free society.
The voice of peace, the voice of truth should be heard loud and clear. Hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Here from the Alps, I'm talking to you from the beautiful mountains of Switzerland. And of course, beautiful Bangalore. You're all there, I suppose, and from everywhere. Alumni of IIM Bangalore. It's such a joy to speak to you all. You know, you're all so successful in your own careers, and wherever you have gone, you have really done so good. And now, with this conference, Emerging Futures, I would like to take questions from you. Before that, I would just like to say a few words. Prosperity is what everybody is looking forward, right? You want the country to be prosperous. You want you to be prosperous. For that, one basic ingredients what people don't pay much attention to is peace. With peace comes prosperity, right? And today, see, the disturbances or the war that rose in few minds have costed the entire Europe and the entire world very heavily, isn't it? When communications break down, conflicts spring up. And for communication to restore, you need trust. And to build trust, you need people who are really neutral in some way. Though India has been neutral and India has never been aggressive on any country so far, it can play a very, very important role, a crucial role at this point of time, when there is fire all around. I've just started the campaign called I Stand for Peace. When large number of us, we put this commitment, have a commitment. We all have, anyway. Everyone is committed to peace, but it simply have to be, it simply have to come to the surface. We have to be conscious of our commitment for peace. So an effort I am doing now throughout the Europe and America, also in India, that people stand up for peace. They stand for peace and they become conscious of the conflicts that that can be resolved through a collective resolution, a collective wish, or what you can say, an intention, and then attention on it. Manifestation will not be very far away. All our creativity rise in our mind as intention first, isn't it? And when we put little more attention on the intention and some effort, it manifests. And so, before we go further into outer and inner success, let us understand this fact that peace is absolutely needed for any success. So let us stand for peace. Will you all do that with me? Huh? We will stand for peace. You can all put, I stand for peace. If you can all spread the message to people whom you know and even to those whom you do not know, we can create a wave of louder voice for peace. Usually people who have negative mindset, they become very active. Those who are with positive attitude and wanting peace, they are a little bit laid back. Say, well, we'll see. That sort of attitude. Now we need to reverse this. Don't you think so? We need to reverse. All those with positive mindset, with hope in their mind and heart, we must become more active and we must act for peace. Yeah. कहीं कोई विध्वंस करना हो लोग इकट्ठे हो जाते हैं, स्ट्राइक करना हो बहुत आसानी से इकट्ठे हो जाते हैं, मगर कुछ सकारात्मक करना हो वहां हिचकिचाते हैं. When we want to do something creative, we tend to postpone it. We tend to say, we'll do it later, we'll do it tomorrow. But when we have to do something, out of emotions, running emotions, out of frustration, we never postpone that. We do it immediately. This is the normal tendency in the human behavior. So we now need to consciously make people understand that we all have power and we can stand for peace. When big powers are at play, normally general population think what we can do. And there is a sense of helplessness. That's what I see now in Europe and other parts of the world. Post-pandemic, there is a sense of helplessness and hopelessness. This leads people to either depression or aggression. Both are not good for an individual or the society. We have to check that. And how can we do that? When we ascertain that we stand for peace, our energies move in some direction towards that. So, you understand what I'm saying? So your energies are given some direction, so at least you come out of the despondency of feeling helpless and hopeless, right? So we all have something to do. You must have heard about the story where a little squirrel kept putting little pebbles in the ocean when Sri Ram was building the bridge to Sri Lanka. I said, and the squirrel said, oh, I'll put my little stones. So like that, drop by drop, if we all join together, can create a big wave of positivity in society, and so we all can contribute something. Coming to outer success depends on your state of mind, isn't it? To achieve success, you have to be very alert. Number one, you have to have right information. Number two, your perception will have to be clear and correct. The fourth thing is you should have enough energy. And the fourth is you must be ready to take challenges. And the fifth thing is you must have that resilience. Yes. All these things are needed to be successful in any venture, in any job. On top of this, we have to be good communicators. People who cannot communicate well with those around them, or with their colleagues, or with their subordinates, with their bosses, their success is a far-fetched reality, right? So, all in all, we need to first have trust in ourselves that we can succeed. Number two, we should be a good communicator. Number three, we have to assess the challenges and problems well. We need to do all this. For that, your state of mind is very, very important, right? And what state of mind you are in matters a lot. I would say Shakti, Bhakti, Yukti, and Mukti. These four things. That's energy, power, skill. This is needed to be successful in the world. And to be successful in your own life for yourself, you need to feel the freedom. If you feel you are constrained, you can't be happy. And you should have that sense of belongingness, love, and compassion. If we miss compassion or love in our life, and we miss feeling freedom, then forget about it. You have no mental peace, nor can there be a smile or glow in your face, right? So, to be successful in life, or you can say inner success, you need to be in a space where you have freedom. You feel the freedom, correct? And you have to be joyful. You have to have compassion or a sense of empathy. And to be successful in the world, just power, money alone is not sufficient. You need skill, and skill in communication, skill in action, and skill in engaging the resources that you have. You may have resources, but if we do not have the skill to engage those resources, then, we are at the dead end, right? Now, is there a need to balance inner and outer success? I would say they are two sides of the same coin. If we acknowledge it or not, unless you feel happy from within, you can't call yourself a successful person, right? You may have a big bank account, but if you are anxious, you are nervous, and you are unable to sleep, and you are so stressed, and your communication is at a dead end with people, how can you call yourself success, that you are having success? To me, the word success is associated with the strength, inner strength. It is associated with the undying smile that you will have. It's associated with your power to be resilient, and your ability to take challenges. If you are able to take bigger challenges, then you can say, yeah, you are successful, right? So, if we are scared of challenges, that means we lack our inner strength. Now, how do we develop inner strength? Very simple. See your life with a bigger context. Let us see our life from a bigger context. How long have we been here on this planet Earth? Have you ever thought about it? Just remember your age. Oh, no, I'm 45, I'm 60. I've been here for 60 years on this planet Earth. Half the time I spent in sleeping, the rest whatever I did. Now, project yourself in the future. How many more years I am going to be here? This thinking itself is good enough to expand your awareness, and all those unnecessary worries that we carry in our head will simply evaporate. Yeah. So context to life, a bigger context to life is first thing. The second way to gain inner strength is commitment. You have a commitment and you go by it, come what may. That commitment brings strength, and it pulls those strength from within you. See, so a strong commitment for whatever it is. The commit, like soldiers, you see how they are so committed and in Sachin Glacier, and they survive. They put out more energy than normally they could do it because there is a commitment. Same with every one of us. We can tap into that source of energy deep within us if we have commitment. Number two, commitment. Number third is a broadened awareness. Having your ears and eyes open for ideas, for creativity. And then the fourth one, skill. Skill in communication, skill in handling complex situations. Yeah. This will just, the later two will just come to you if you have the former two. Pay attention to the former two. Yeah. So, Mr. Harish, if you have some questions on these, you may, our Honorable President, Mr. Harish, you are there, right?
Thank you, Gurudev.
Yes, Nishita.
The alumni from various batches have a variety of questions. So if I can invite Ashok Ekbote, who's part of the Global Executive Council from the 1981 batch, to ask a question to you personally.
Yes. Sure. Yes, Ashok, how are you?
Fine. Namaste, Gurudev.
Namaste.
A question for you. In today's hectic world of job, internet, social media, COVID, war, etc., how does one attain inner peace?
See, when you have nothing much to do, you don't even have to attain inner peace. Right? When you have so much to do, that is when peace is more relevant. So you must take a little time, like you sleep, however busy you are, whatever you have, you take that little nap, right? You have to go to sleep, otherwise you become dysfunctional. In the same way, you have to find that few minutes to reflect about your own life, no? That will give you strength. Yeah. And meditation definitely can increase your energy, deepen the quality of your rest, and so give you more time and sharpness in your work. And so you have to pay for it. That is, you have to take some time, 15, 20 minutes, you have to pay, right?
Thank you, Gurudev.
And Gurudev, Deepa Narayan Swami from 2008 has a related question.
Yeah. Yes.
Namaste, Gurudev. So I'm learning a lot about inner work and balance at this age. If I had learned them earlier, me and those around me would have suffered less. So how can we teach ourselves and the next generation to learn about life without too much suffering? Why is this not the first lesson that we are taught, even in a rich spiritual country like India?
Well, whenever we teach Art of Living workshops, This is the first question people say, how come I haven't learned this? And the regret comes up. How come I didn't know this? This is a
Yes.
question throughout, whether it is in the corporate world or in the prisons. People in prison, they hold us responsible. They say, if you had taught this before, we wouldn't have landed up where we are. This is what they say. Having said that, I would say, see, today we are in the internet world. See, now we are already conversing like that. There are knowledge, and there are meditations available on the internet. You can always do it, right?
Yeah.
And you can tell others too. Yeah.
Thank you.
Gurudev, the case study on Art of Living's accelerated growth over 40 years has been published by IIM Bangalore and now sits at Harvard. And it's very clear that Art of Living exemplifies a purpose driven organization. What can having a strong purpose do, Gurudev? And how can a business really balance profit and purpose?
See, when you do business, don't think of anything else. Just do business with profit aim in your mind. Okay. But when you do charity, you do it fully. Your business you have to do with your head, charity you have to do with your heart. You should not mix them up. At the same time, what can keep us in the balance is following ethics. If we become too greedy and say, I would like to grow with ethics, or no ethics, or right or wrong, then you will be into trouble sooner or later. So ethically, you do business, and when it comes to doing charity, a portion of it we must keep it for social responsibility, corporate social responsibility, where we can help out people who are in need. We can do seva. All that we should not do with calculation. That should be done, on a different scale, on a different altar altogether.
Okay. And
I
related
advise
to,
I would advise business people not to mix them up, but do it both. See, in bhojan, in food, you have raita and you have kheer, but you eat them at different times. You don't eat them together. But in the same meal, you can have them both, right? Like that.
and Gurudev, related to Art of Living's growth, every company has a vision, Gurudev, but in most cases, it tends to end up being a pretty picture framed on a wall. Whereas here we see that your grand vision has become a reality. Um, what makes a vision a reality?
Very inspired volunteers. I have to thank all the teachers and volunteers who have been responsible for the growth of it. I gave them all the credit. We have very, very dedicated team, and it just like sharing one's joy. Actually, when you see a nice movie, you don't say, leave me alone, I want to sit and be happy by myself. You just take your phone and you just call everybody, hey, I saw a good movie, come on, you also should see, things like that. So when people find so much joy in doing this work, and then the practices, that helps, inspires them to share and spread. And sometimes I would say you should not manage things too much, though it may be an oxymoron to speak at the management conclave. If we try to manage things too much, then we are restraining it. We should just let it be. And nature organically grows everything. So that's how our organization grew, because of no management. And it just, organically we let things happen. Yeah. I wouldn't say you should do with the same thing with all the businesses. Don't get me wrong, but Art of Living grew that way. We just asked people to, with a certain guidelines and frames we given, so people kept coming up with seva projects all over the world, and that's how it kept growing. Yeah. Today we are in 170 countries. Yeah, in the 41st year.
That was actually Sneha Patil's question. She's from the batch of 2019 and she'd like to ask you something related to that.
Yeah.
Namaste. Gurudev, you have millions of followers across 157 countries. How do you positively influence people into good things and make this a better world?
See, you share what you have. If you are positive, you can't but share positivity, right?
Yes.
So everything begins where you are. Then there is no effort also. I don't make an effort to spread positivity. I'm just who I am, and then I just say what I feel is right, and then I would say three things we must pay attention to: clarity in mind, purity in heart, and sincerity in action. And then everything is taken care of.
Gurudev, Subrata Kumar Biswal from 2016 would like to know more.
Subrata.
Particularly in current life scenario, we are like facing many issues, challenges, and also excitements in the same time. And so my question is like, how to maintain an optimum energy level to balance work-life balance, and at the same time to create positive impact on society at large. So to give it back to society and also at the same time profit and not just
Yeah, the current time, how to keep the positive mindset, isn't it? Is that your question? Yeah.
Optimum energy level.
Optimum energy level and positive mindset. That's the reason I made so many meditation, uh, techniques recorded and put them out there. We made an app for it. Whenever someone is tired and feels no energy, just put the app on and sit, and you can energize yourself, right? The same way, little bit wisdom, little bit knowledge about our own life. What is life? What does it mean for us? What it is to be happy. What is the purpose of our life? Some of these questions we keep asking ourselves, that philosophical few sprinklers, I would say, just sprinkle some philosophical thought in your life in the midst of all business activity. That itself can, uplift your energy level or your consciousness uh, to new heights. Yeah. I know so many businessmen have taken these tips, and they are doing extremely well, I tell you. In fact, very, very successful businessmen. They all have this spiritual bent of mind. Yeah. Around the world, I'm telling you. It's not that, okay, Indian business people have that background, they have some spiritual. No, people from all over the world. Yeah. So it's necessary for everyone to take a little time for themselves, right? And get into the real truth, the wisdom that the whole universe is just quantum mechanics, and consciousness is all about quantum mechanics. Yeah.
Gurudev, there was a question and the person preferred to stay anonymous since it's a personal question. They would like to know when one really knows whether they have touched the ultimate truth.
It will be as obvious as you have a pain in the head. When you have a headache, you don't go and ask someone, "Do I have a headache?" You know it. Even if the whole world stands one side, say you have no headache, you will say, "No, I have." Like that, it will be so obvious. And the smile on your face will show, the fearlessness in you will show that, and contentment. You have tremendous contentment. You see, that itself can show that you are where you ought to be.
And there was another personal question. When one feels guilt, because we live our busy lives, and meanwhile, we might lose people along the way, family members pass on. How do we really deal with that guilt?
Well, uh, this is a very unique, or I would say, these situations have to be seen in a very different light. That's why I say you have to sprinkle some philosophic in your day-to-day life. Yeah, you see, on one side, nobody will go exit this world before their time. So they have gone the other side. Their time is up. Well, if you feel guilty, you have not taken good care of them or something. Now the past is past. You can ask forgiveness with them and move on. All mistakes happen when we are not conscious. When we become conscious, we should see life is afresh now and keep moving. In the present moment, believe in your innocence and move ahead. And we don't have to hang on to the past. It has happened. Well, that is why it is necessary for every single individual to be more conscious about their actions, about their decisions, about all that we have been bestowed with. Time and again, we have to remind ourselves. See, we have been bestowed with a beautiful world, a beautiful earth, and such a nice atmosphere, and feel grateful for all that you have been bestowed, right? Gratefulness can take you out of guilt. Yeah.
Priyanka Mathur from 2014 would like to know a little bit more about goals.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste.
Guruji, I had a question about happiness, about the concept of happiness.
Okay.
Is the concept of happiness overrated? If yes, then what should one try to achieve?
Can you say that again?
Is the concept of happiness overrated? If yes, then what should one try to achieve?
No, nobody can tell you what you should achieve, you know. Do you see what I'm saying? What makes you happy, only you know. Correct? So, something makes you happy today, but you may want to do something else day after tomorrow that will make you happy. So, doing something, you get happy. Correct? There are two states of happiness. One, when you get things, you are happy. This is infant happiness, according to me. There is another state where when you give, when you contribute something, you become happy. And over and above these two, giving and getting happiness, there is a state where you realize you are happiness, you need nothing. And that will be enlightenment. That is fullness of life. Yeah.
That was very insightful, Guruji. Thank you so much.
Gurudev, may we explore mindset a little bit? We actually had run a dipstick survey amongst established people, alumni, CEOs, MDs, directors, presidents. And interestingly, only about 50% of them actually feel successful. So, how important is it, Gurudev, to feel successful, to have that success mindset?
Every failure is a stepping stone for success. This is an old wisdom people might have heard, but it just floats away somewhere. It should really get into our consciousness, our mind. Then you don't mind when failures step in for a while. When you want to build a huge building, you dig down for foundation, right? In the same way, when you are venturing in something, some failures happen and they are all good for you because they taught you some lesson. So we must be students, you know. Don't think you're passed out of a college, of an institution, and that's it. You're no longer a student. In life, you are a perennial student. Perpetual learning is happening in life all through. So every failure, if you take it as a lesson, then nothing can take the smile, the confidence away from you. And look around and see the so-called successful people. If it's only earning lot of money, look at all those who have a lot of money. Where are they? They put all the money in the bank and they die and their children fight over their inheritance. Isn't that what is happening around the world? You call them successful people? All life they're struggling. And by hook or crook, they made money and didn't enjoy anything. We forget our resources are our means for life to achieve its goal. And the goal of life is an expanded awareness, to be happy and to spread happiness, to live life, not just exist. Isn't it? So we have to put our attention on that. Then you will see, you will not take big um, pride over success. Actually, I don't say I successfully drank a cup of water. When I lift 25 kilos, which I've been trying to, and if I cannot, then I say, oh, I successfully lifted 25 kilos. That means every time you claim success, you have no idea about your own power. And when you realize yourself, your consciousness has so much power, you will never claim success or never take pride in success because it's nothing. It's a small thing for you. Do you see what I'm saying? When you say I am successful or you claim success, you are limiting the possibility of your spirit. Your spirit can achieve much more than those little success on which you take so much pride about. Got it? See, हमारी आत्मा में इतनी शक्ति है, इतनी शक्ति है, हम उसके प्रति अवगत नहीं है. We are not aware of the power of the being, power of the self. So small things we claim success, and or we feel upset because it's a failure. No? That's why Lord Krishna and Gita says, whether success or failure, don't think about it. Yuddhasya vigatajvara. Just go ahead and fight without feverishness. Yuddhasva vigatajvara. If you are feverish about success or feverish about failure, of scared about failure, then you can't win the race of life. So the way to go about is work, put your 100% without being too feverish and with confidence. And confidence is because the self is more powerful than all the things that is around it. Yeah? Wonderful. Okay, Nishita?
There was one last question, if
One
you have
last
the
question. Yeah,
time.
I'll always take the last one.
From Ujjwal Galada, batch of 2004.
Jai Gurudev, sir. IIMB alumni earn wealth and recognition at a very young age. And as they say, success begets success. So they work 10 hours, then now after 10 years of career, they probably work 12 hours. And when they want to aspire to become a CEO, they work 16, 17 hours. And in this process, they postpone the creative process of finding our calling and making a difference. How can we balance career and inner calling when you're in mid career, Gurudev? In young age, people end up doing it. I see that when they hit higher levels of management, they say, okay, when I hit retirement is when I'll think on these lines. Abhi tak let me chase corporate goals.
No, they forget to chase the corporate goal. They need tremendous energy. They need intelligence. They need intuitive ability. And all this will come only with the inner power. So you cannot run a car 100 miles with reserve gas in your car, reserve petrol. Your petrol is in reserve. You can't say, I'm going to run the race. You have to fill your car. And that's what this is, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay.
Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev.
Gurudev, in closing, if you would like to share, we would love to know what your leadership style is.
My leadership style. I lead from the back. I put everyone in front of me. You would see nobody behind me, all in front. Everywhere I go, people are sitting in front of me.
Thank you so very much, Gurudev. The whole association and all the alumni are very grateful for your most valuable time and your invaluable wisdom.
Namaste.
Thank you so much.
Namaste, Gurudev. Harish.
Namaste, Harish.
Thank you, Gurudev, from the bottom of our heart for that inspirational address and for those pearls of wisdom. Everything so simply explained. I really hope that our alumni, including me, can actually practice and imbibe some of those teachings and make a difference to our own lives. It'll be so wonderful. Thank you, Gurudev.
All the best. All the best. Blessings.
Thank you, Gurudev.